Have you ever held a dollar bill in your hand and wondered, where did this actually come from? No, not the printing press. Not even the US Mint. The truth is far stranger and far more shocking. In fact, most of the money in America doesn't even exist as cash. It's created out of thin air, with just a few keystrokes on a computer. And the way it works will change the way you look at banks, the economy, and even your own wallet. Let's go back thousands of years. Before there were dollars, credit cards, or even coins, people traded goods directly: grain for cattle, salt for gold, labor for food. But barter had limits. So, societies invented money, a universal token of trust. Gold and silver coins became the standard because they were rare, durable, and universally valued. But here's the twist. The moment governments realized they could replace gold with paper notes backed by a promise, not actual metal, everything changed. Suddenly, money became more about belief than substance. Fast forward to the rise of banks. Imagine this: you deposit $100 into a bank. You think the bank holds onto it for safekeeping, but in reality, the bank keeps only a fraction and lends the rest out, sometimes 9 times over. That $100 doesn't just sit there. It multiplies into thousands of dollars in loans. This is called fractional reserve banking, the engine that creates money seemingly out of nothing. So the money you see in your account, it's not the same money your neighbor sees in theirs. It's digital promises, stacked on top of each other, held together by trust. Here's the shocking part. More than 90% of the money in the US today doesn't exist in physical form. It's just numbers in a digital ledger. When banks issue loans, whether for a house, a business, or even your credit card, they're not handing out pre-existing money. They're literally creating it on the spot. Think about that. Your mortgage? Created with a few clicks. Your car loan? Born out of nothing. And yet, you owe the bank real interest, in real dollars, for decades. But here's the catch. This endless creation of money fuels debt. The US economy runs on borrowed dollars, not earned ones. And with more money chasing the same goods, prices rise. That's inflation. You feel it every time you buy groceries or gas. The government itself is trapped in this cycle. Every bond it issues is a promise to pay back money it doesn't yet have, so it borrows more, creating a never-ending loop. At the center of it all is the Federal Reserve, America's central bank. It doesn't just regulate money, it literally creates it. When the Fed wants to stimulate the economy, it buys government bonds with freshly created dollars. When it wants to slow things down, it raises interest rates, making borrowing more expensive. In other words, the Fed acts like a magician, pulling money out of thin air and controlling how fast or slow that money flows through the economy. So where does this leave us? In a system built on promises, trust, and constant borrowing. Money isn't gold or paper or even digital code, it's belief. As long as people believe in the system, it works. But the moment that belief breaks, the system trembles. And here's the question to leave you with. If money is created from nothing, who truly owns it? The government, the banks, or the people who work for it every day?